This is Reg F. and Howard Ra, Siren Buddha Medicine, your sister. And I need to start out by saying I'm still a wee bit hesitant at sharing the messages and things that I get. Reason being, my reasoning, my perception is I'm surrounded by many people who are not. It's only when I go on the internet, and very rarely do I bump into somebody that is as gifted to be bestowed these visions and insights, things that I've gotten over the years, repeatedly get through the months. This one particular vision I want to give to you is about a cave. The only way I know how to give this to you is to make it a sort of meditation. I need you to walk through the woods. Sounds a lot like the meditation of DNA repair in back of you, 432 hertz. Just listen and walk. Let the leaves crunch under your feet. Along with the fresh, moist leaves that you can feel the ground alive under your shoes, even though you're wearing hard shoes. And feel the wind touch your skin, wrap around your face and legs. Not in a chill, just alive with feeling. Cool and moist, fresh, crisp wind, but not cold. Wrapping around your arms and legs, your coat, your body, your face, through your hair. You breathe it in through your nostrils as you continue to walk through the forest and look at the trees. It's still very green, although it's right before the seasons start to change. There's very few colored leaves, and the ones you hear crunching under your feet are the very beginning. As you walk, you see an opening in the trees near a mountain. Decide to be daring and look inside. So you push the leaves aside and you walk through, and you see that it's a cave. And you walk through the cave. And you hear a little dripping water. Not as much as you do now, just a little. And you put your hand out and you touch the moisture that's leaking on the end of the cave wall. And you can see, you don't really know how you can see because, oh, there it is. It's just a little bit of the light coming in from where you came, from beyond the trees, enough to see that the walls are a bit moist. And you're standing on top of this knoll within the mountain, this rock, this boulder, touching the moisture on the end of the wall coming down. The ground is all rock, and the ceiling is all rock in this cave. And you're standing on this knoll. Your vision stops here, because I need to explain to you, and this is the only way I can explain to you what was shown to me. this was a dream that was also a vision. So I'm in this cave. And I'm standing on top of the knoll touching the water. And I look down and there's all these people. And they're dancing. And they have a fire appears. And they're dancing around the fire in the middle of the cave. And they're doing all kinds of stuff. It looks kind of raw, you know? The facial expressions, the laughter, the passion, the desire that's being fulfilled around the fire. The fire is not purging, it's just illuminating. And so I walk down from the knoll and I look and they're holding up a bowl of cocaine, asking me to partake. And they're dancing and laughing and telling lewd jokes. And making fun of one another. But it's all in fun. It's all this loud, boisterous nonsense. Feeding the ego and all the passions. And they're having a ball. But it's like a stench and the aura, not that you can smell, but that you can see. But through the fire that was illuminating the sight that I was seeing, the message was that no matter where you are, there you be. And it was clear that I was in some sort of hell, some sort of place where things were brought into the light, summed up. There was all kinds of things crystallizing in that cave. But I was able to see pure light through that, like wherever you are, there you be. And I was there. And there was a man there that I know that had the bowl. And he doesn't do cocaine. It was a symbol of, well, he has an issue with drinking. And the bowl was a symbol of, wherever you are, there you be. We're here on earth in this matrix, see? And there's all these evil things that we witness every day, all day long, that befall us, that we're mixed up in. People dancing around us, enjoying the ego and saturating themselves, gorging themselves in passion and lewdness and making other people feel uncomfortable or sad or greed, whatever it is, whatever our vice is, there's still, that's the pull. That's not who we are. That's what we're afflicted with. That's a vice, a hindrance, something that needs to be brought to the light so it could be worked with and molded, exposed. And I was standing there watching everyone because I stepped down from my knoll, from my rock. And then I went back. I walked back up the hill, stood on the rock. And that's where you are with me again. I reached out my hand and this darkness that's there and felt the water drip down from the cave. When I looked up, I saw a being. The being was everything of the sky, the entire zodiac, covering the entire cave. All the sin, so-called sin, It was covering all the misdeeds, all the faulty programming, as well as covering me and all the beauty of the cave. And underneath me was the earth that I stood upon, that held all the very same things I just spoke of. I held the pole. It held the righteous and it held the sinner, all lying within one being, all a part of the sky and all a part of the earth, within the cave. And the cave became an eye. I saw that the two beings were an eye of a greater being, and that we were all a part of the two beings that we were within, that were dreaming and experiencing us. It's like the eye, the seeds and the beings and the spirits of us on earth in this matrix is like the eye of two larger beings that we are symbolic of. And then those beings are but a space and a piece of another large being. They make up like the bottom and the top lid of this massive other being. And we're all seeing a dream within a dream, like they are made of the same things that we are made of, connecting with source energy, like this funnel, like Santos was talking about I can't pronounce it right now. It's not an ellipsis. It's a figure 8 in the sky. And every day, the zodiac travels his trail. And it reminds me a lot of the body clock, and how the ancient Asian systems had it mapped out, body clock, where certain times of the day, your organs that are also icons of the planets of our universe, depicted within our body, which is also mapped out through our chakra system. The solar system can be tapped in through certain frequencies and colors. Each color has a frequency. Each frequency is matched to that color. And each organ is matched to that color and frequency, which matches a planetary system, a power, a force, a life force energy. Because energy never dies, it only transfers. That part of our brain that they say is shut down, it's still alive and talking. Is it talking only in dreams and visions? Is it talking through synchronicity and patterns and codes of the matrix? Is it talking through our body, giving us messages on what we may need in order to give it nutrients? Like, are you craving garlic or onions or thyme, soup, or fruits, or salad? I was in this cave that I had the hardest time when I came back, trying to figure out how to give this message, because one message was specifically for my buddy that I told you about that had the drinking issue. He was coming around, but he wasn't able to stop. And the message was, no matter who you are, there you be. And that you can't hide from your own goodness. He's such a sweet, elderly man, caught in a vice. And how that so reminded me of myself and issues that I have in my life. Although they may depict themselves differently. That drink could be food. That drink could be a man. That drink could be low self-esteem and all the dumb stuff people do. Try try to compensate, for low self-esteem by letting their ego get totally out of control and become monsters. It was in this cave that I could see all that around the fire. It just appeared there in the center, just like our world. And we'll realize what I was standing upon depicted the earth and all the things of the earth. And I saw myself in our previous messages as an ambassador or a person of the earth, representing the earth. I'm flowers and wind and water and laughter and joy and love, as well as the storm. To be aware of all that. What a mother goes through to birth a child. What we go through to see our dreams. I've had this vision and this message for quite a while, like some other ones, and it hasn't been easy for me to truly, there's depths to Ra. There's so many depths to Ra, isn't there? And you can go to the seed. Is it GMO? Is it organic? And then you can go to the seed. How raw do you want to get? Go to the DNA structure. It could stay on the surface. Could lose some of the nutrients. Make an apple pie instead of eating the apple. Instead of eating the seeds. There's depths to perception and truth, is what I'm trying to say. Just like the vision, everything is always threefold. As above, so below. And it's spiritual, mental, and physical. If I can't triangulate, then it's meaningless. That it has no practical application. And there's a lot of things that just don't connect until you find someone here to talk to about it. So that part of the message was for a friend, and the other part was for me, and the other part is for you. But I had to find the courage to lose my ego to be able to give it to you. Because I walk in a world where I don't connect with us physically here on this plane much. And there's a balance to that, especially this kind of stuff. You don't want to overpower people with your own perceptions. There's a balance to this stuff. So, I know, because it wouldn't leave me. I had to give you this message. Our eye sees the universe. And we are a small mini model of the Creator depicted within one body. The fire, the water, the earth, the air, and the ether. Symbolic and literally. Physically within one body. Connected to the ether. Energy never dies. It only transfers. Each zodiac sign. A mixture of different pieces of source energy. On the planet, living out our lives, with part of ourselves shut down, unable to recognize this. unable to tap in and realize that the very breath we breathe is alive, just like us. A part of us, a brother, a sister, a kindred of us. The water we drink, the food we eat. But how can we see that when we can't even see that the person next to us is the same exact thing? I laugh with the hypocrisy of people who are so enchanted with outer space and running around wanting to meet other life forms in outer space, but can't get along with their own Chinese, Puerto Rican, and black folks, and white folks right here. You know, we're a mixture right here. The apple of Papa's eye, the apple of God's eye, the apple of the Creator's eye, whatever you want to call the Creator, we're here. Whether you even want to say it's just like boom, we're here. We're here, and we can see that there are other things that revolve around us. We go with the orbits, orbs. And we're symbolic of these other beings, and they are larger beings that are also looking at the same thing that we're looking at. Interesting enough, are also the very same thing that we're looking at. They're only larger. Everything larger was chopped down in the last planetary war. Things that we think are mountains, which used to be trees. Everything is like a funnel. Just like that figure 8 that was being spoke about. I'm trying to find it so I can tell you the exact name. Anyway, but I'm really glad I got a chance to give you that. Yes, it's the analema. Look up the analema and how it rotates around in regards to the body clock and how it's all connected to the chakra system and stuff. Okay? And that'll give more of an idea of how, you know, when you look at the Taurus energy and you look at the spiral effect, you have to get a feel for it. It's not just a seeing, it's a feeling and a knowing. To the movement, even in the vision. Tunnel vision. Almost how like when we look at television on an unconscious level, look at the psychology of it. We look at television and we're seeing one thing, but the person that made the show had a totally other vision, and they targeted the images to have you perceive that show in a certain way, which is the reason why we're watching it. And they get hired by somebody else who has an entirely other perception of what should be going on. And perhaps the person that made and created the show got the vision or the idea from somewhere else. And that would be source energy. That would be the cosmos. That would be the lucid. That would be ether. They put it on the airways. Where Earth, it hits us. We're walking around breathing, repeating this stuff spiritually. Give us t-shirts of Mickey Mouse and, kids on deck and whatever show. The Matrix. So we have the symbols and stuff too. A lot of these people know occult systems, so they know how to tap the unconscious psyche, literally, deliberately targeting the unconscious mind into the images and stuff that we're seeing, that we're perceiving within this universe, within this mini multiverse body. If you want to look at the different dimensions that we just talked about, that I just talked about. So I've been learning a lot from different people. I think for me it's more about the everything. Not one particular thing. I guess it gets to that point for all of us. All is self. So this is Reg F. and Howard, Raw, Siren Buddha Medicine. All truly is self. Much love to you.